Welcome to another episode of the Camilita podcast. This is where you learn to live like a champion. On today's episode, I want to talk about a topic that most of us have had to deal with, and that is you are about to start for 3 years. So, welcome to this episode. Don't forget, before we move on, subscribe, connect, send me a quick message if you have any questions. I would love to hear from you to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. And don't forget, share this podcast. If you know someone that needs to hear this today, share it. I want to help someone else get cracking. So let's get into this episode today. Now, I know some of you are or were like me. You're about to start. You're going to start. You're going to start today. It's going to start. It's going to start. It's going to. But then nothing happens. You've done the courses. You've been to the master classes. You've told people your plans. You probably hired a mentor. You started. You've got a website. You made an offer, or you started investing. And at some point, you are still prepared, or you're still getting prepared to build this thing, this brand, this product, this service, whatever you're planning to launch. Do you know what I call that? I call that avoidance. I say that you're avoiding the inevitable. You're avoiding to do the work. You're avoiding how you would feel if you start when you start, and you're avoiding perhaps the messiness, the thing if it was going to work, if it's not going to work, and you're worried about it. This is not to shame you. This is to encourage you that I was there and I have been there and I understand exactly where you are. But you have got to just start. So I am going to give you some tips in what I had to do to just start, to get started and to get started now. Because there's power in the start when you just get started. Okay. So I'm going to give you about maybe 3 or 4 tips that I have done to get started and, to just keep going, because getting started is one thing, but being able to keep going is a whole different story. That's for another podcast. Okay. But today I want to talk about getting started. So let's look at some tips that I have done in getting started. Number one, this is something that you should not avoid in doing. Number one, get into action. My acronym for getting into action is about asking for the permission to just do it. Asking yourself for the permission to just do it. Because action dispels fear. When you get into action, it doesn't matter what type of, even if the action is wrong, but you're going in the direction of travel, you will start feeling better about yourself, your brand, your product, your service. And if you make mistakes, you can always do it and redo it again. So number one, get into action. I'm telling you from my own personal experience. When I got into action, everything changed so much when I got into action. Okay, that's number one. Number two, ask for help. Now, my acronym for ask is always seek knowledge. There is someone who knows, who has done what you wanted to do. Maybe a coach, maybe a mentor, and everybody has a coach of some sort. Someone else has helped them along the way. So ask for help, because you're not going to do it on your own. And the minute you try to do this on your own, you're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to think, oh my God, I'm going to get it wrong. Nobody's going to like what I have to share. Nobody's going to like what I'm making. If I'm selling candles or if I'm selling houses, like nobody's going to like what I'm doing. Nobody's going to buy. So I might as well just not do it. But when you get a coach, you get a mentor, you ask for help from someone who's done it before, they could guide you through it exactly what to do. Hence the reason I coach clients across the world to do what they're called to do. So ask for help. The next one, something again that I feel that I've had to do when I got started, and I've started numerous businesses from property to coaching to product sales, all sorts I've started. This one particular thing has helped me, I think, I would say, out of all of them, the most, even though asking for help is one thing or taking action, is something else. I've had to empower my mind every single day. And I tell you what, because you win and lose in your mind. Your mind sometimes will talk you out of doing things. So your mind will say, oh, you're not going to do it as good as this one, or it's not going to happen like that one, or your own mind will talk you out of doing what you're called to do. So I want to encourage you today. If your mind is telling you it's not going to work, it's not going to happen, just don't listen to your mind. Just don't listen. Just keep getting into action and keep asking for help because it's a battle you will have to deal with every single day. If you want to win, you want to succeed, you want to build anything, do anything, create anything, you're going to have to deal with that every single day. Okay, that's number three. Number four, again, this is the thing that this is what I have had to use to build the brands and the businesses that I have built over the years. And yeah, it's not always simple. But number four, don't be so concerned about what people think. This for me was one of the big top, I would say top five for me in my life, probably even in the top three, because you for a lot of people who don't start, they think, oh my God, what is my family going to think? What is my loved ones going to think? What is my spouse going to think? What are my colleagues going to think? Because I'm sort of pushing myself out there, putting myself in a different light from them. And let me tell you, for most people, there are some, of course, but for most people, they actually want you to succeed. There is a small group who doesn't, and you can't get can't get away from that. There's a small group who doesn't want you to succeed, but the majority of people do want you to succeed. The problem is that we have that feeling when I do succeed, how will I be perceived in front of my family or my friends or my loved ones or whoever? And that is where the danger lies. Because we're thinking what they would think more than how they would probably encourage us or also to get it done. That is something I had to deal with so much in building the brands and the businesses that I have built. And that's something that I encourage all my clients to do. And the last one I'm going to talk about, which I think for so many people that literally holds them back, is that fear of success or the fear of failure. Now, let me tell you, we all have it, whether it's success or whether it's failure. And for most of you who are listening to this, I don't think it is a failure. I think it is success. When I started off, I thought, gosh, I was more afraid of what my family would think about me and what my colleagues would think about me if I started doing what I'm doing now. If I started coaching and consulting across the world, or I started developing a multi-million pound property portfolio, what will they think? And that fear of earning more or that fear of building more held me back. Oh my God, it held me back so much. I would make money and I would spend all of it because I didn't feel I deserve having all this money and all this success. Because look at my family, they don't have that. When I got over that fear, I realized that the more I made was the more I was able to bless other people with, or support other people with, or look after my mother when she was alive, or the good things that I did with the more that I had. Everything changed. So I understood that it was not about those 5 steps that I just shared with you. It was more about me understanding what I can do with what I had. And I want to encourage everybody that's listening. I want to encourage you that's listening. The more you have is the more you give. The more you put yourself out there is the more you're going to realize what is in you and how you can do and create more than you've ever imagined. So I hope that these tips today will inspire you and encourage you to keep going, because I know how it feels as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend. I know how it feels to implement those into my life and into my business. And if I can share one last personal tip, which is my personal tip, you don't have to follow it, but it is mine. One last personal tip: ask for God's help. That's something that I do personally. So you don't have to follow it, but that's what I do personally. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Again, don't forget to subscribe to iTunes, leave a review if you like what you hear. Share it with someone else who you think needs to hear this right now. It might be someone that is being held back because of their own thought process or whatever. Share it with someone else and tell them that they can. And don't forget, again, if you have any questions, go to camilita.com, go to my website and click on my entrepreneur assessment. Take the assessment, it's free. Tell me a little bit more about what you need, you want to achieve, what you want to offer. And don't forget to subscribe also on YouTube so you can hear and click the little bell so that you can hear when the next episode comes in every week. I want to inspire you and encourage you that you too could go out and live like a champion. Get it done. When you do, I will see you soon, and I will see you at the top. I'll see you again soon.